victim of 400 years of conditioning.
Shut up.
The man has programmed my conditioning. Even my conditioning has been conditioned.
What is your relationship with money?
15,000 on 3 boob jobs.
Yeah.
£300,000 on clothes.
Yeah.
No, really, if you had to describe it, what would you say?
When did you win 9.7 million? 2002. And by what point had it all gone? About 2007, 2008.
Would you say if you had more of it, everything would be fine? Just $1 million or $2 million? This is also what many lottery winners thought. Yet statistics tell a different story. 70% of them receive life-changing money but go broke. Now you'd probably say they didn't grind, they didn't hustle, they don't know the value of what they had, so they lost it all. But what about T-Pain and Mike Tyson, who are at the top of their game making millions through hard work over the years, but also lost it all?
Oh, was you at like $0 broke?
I had to borrow money to get my kids Burger King.
Wow.
And I'd love to say it's different for everybody else, but
Over half of Americans earning a 6-figure salary report that they're actually living paycheck to paycheck.
so it's clear that despite us all wanting to have more, sometimes gaining more, there's an underlying problem, a negative behavior that's so ingrained into society where it's normal to squander money now and think about it later, take up excessive amounts of bad credit. Don't forget about buy now, pay later. Your friends are going to an expensive restaurant while you're struggling. Let's ball out, tip the waiter. Knowing you're probably going to regret that, yet the vicious cycle continues. Your money just continues to disappear. Now school, while being able to teach us a plethora of subjects, failed to teach us the simple yet life-changing fundamentals around personal finance that would save us from the harsh realities of having to live on the brink of financial calamity, moving over to states of desperation, discomfort, and dysphoria. We tend to be products of our environment, and instead of this being a classroom where we can all learn and have open discussions about money, it's a money trap. An ever-growing way of thinking and living, the rat race. Things just keep falling apart. It needs to stop. Unfortunately for us all, it can. Earlier I asked you what your relationship with money was, which holds paramount importance as this one question will help peel away at the problem, as this can be simply whittled down to our ability to produce money and on the opposite end, how much we consume with said money. Most people go to work to produce some sort of output for their employer's business based on a problem that needs to be solved. Generally, the larger the problem, the larger the reward. The reward here being money, which to many of us hold a certain amount of value because it's what we use to exchange for goods and services across other businesses that we perceive hold value. So value is generated, perceived, and then exchanged. This ongoing loop takes form in many shapes and sizes, and in a nutshell is what we call the economy, or to each of us on an individual basis, our personal economy. So I'll rephrase the initial question. What do you do more? Produce or consume? Do you prioritize saving and investing, then everything else? As the book The Richest Man in Babylon would call it, pay yourself first. Or has your money already been allocated for various goods and services, yet there's no consideration for saving and investing, following the lines of artist Little Sims, saying we already mentally spent the damn check. Now with the ongoing cost of living crisis, it would be ignorant to think that people are only struggling because of their consumption habits. But if multi-millionaires are going broke, then consumption, the lack of education on personal finance, shopping till your bank account drops, is ultimately the heart of this problem. So what exactly is the rat race? The internet defines it as an endless, self-defeating, or pointless pursuit. I'll be honest with you, when I first came across this term reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, the 9 to 5, the office life, having to answer to a manager is what I equated to the rat race. Get up, go to work, feel anguish towards your colleagues, manager and place of work. Go home, indulge in entertainment, buy goods and services, make yourself feel better. Go to bed and the cycle continues onto payday where you have nothing to show for it because of the spending earlier on. And I was spot on. Whether that is feel-good spending, trying to keep up with the Joneses, or just horrible money management, this is what creates the rat race. Living paycheck to paycheck, the endless or pointless pursuit, the ongoing mental strain a person feels until they can retire, and quite frankly, that's if they can even afford to retire. That high you get when your Amazon delivery arrives is put ahead of all your goals and aspirations, and only being being a few smartphone buttons away. So unfortunately, a happy ending looks unlikely here. The show, the race, must go on. But I was also horribly wrong. You see, a person who loves their career and manages their money in efforts to make the most out of every dollar or pound, whether that's eventually to create something of their own related to their career or other aspirations, or use it to diligently invest in viable investments, despite what many fake gurus would have you think, is not in a self-defeating pursuit. They just want your coin, and villainizing your livelihood, especially for those of you already under intense stress from your current circumstances, just might push you over the edge to give it to them.
60% of American adults surveyed cited their level of debt as their main reason for financial anxiety.
So you get a dopamine hit when you buy something.
Companies know us better than we know ourselves.
Have probably just under $1 million in debt, and we want to know how to get debt-free without filing bankruptcy.
So how do you fix your consumption? By first identifying how much you consume. So noting down how much you spend on food, transport, housing and utilities over the course of a month gives you clarity on the minimum you need to live, which most people are unfortunately not aware of. From here you have a good understanding of how much you have for the rest of the month to save, pay off debt, invest and enjoy some of your hard-earned money. But let's go one step further with a budget. A budget, being one of the pinnacles of personal finance and mentioned by your favorite finance channels, transforms what is initially notes into a game-winning plan, as you have full visibility of what every dollar, pound, currency of your choice is going to be doing for the month to fulfill the requirements in this order, setting you up and your dependencies ahead for the future by either saving, investing or getting rid of bad debt, paying for necessities like housing, food, transport, then of course enjoying some of your money. Many will see this order and say a mistake was made, but I've learned that you determine your financial destination, so you should be the priority. And finally, to keep yourself afloat for unfortunate times of crisis and uncertainty, building an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. This is one of the greatest rules I've discovered around personal finance from Dave Ramsey and his team. As shown by historical evidence, it's not a matter of if an economic crisis will occur, but rather when. So the need for preparation is crucial, and this approach being among the most effective. But it is a rigged game. Even before the current digital age, keeping up with the Joneses, a term described as trying to keep up with the lifestyle of your neighbors, was originated in 1913, where your most visible comparison for the most part was your neighbor, and people still fell into the excessive consumption trap.
Who knew that debt could be so much fun, huh?
Now with only a few clicks of your smartphone, you have access to the entire world, a place where you can compare everything and anything to that of your favorite celebrity or influencer, see all the current trends and finally start to feel the fear of missing out. And that in itself is an even bigger rigged game, as I've learned from people I personally know that they not only get given the brands we seek for free, but also get paid to wear them. So to feel part of that inner circle, you end up making that costly split-second decision. See, the point of noting down what you spend money on, having a budget, setting up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months is not only to keep money in your pocket so you stay that much further away from living on a financial edge, or to install an unwanted scarcity mindset, but it's an attempt to break free from the invisible chains that society imposes, trapping many in a state of financial and mental captivity. Channeling these simple but highly effective financial behaviors has a way of helping you really understand the essence of your personal economy. Copying the purchase of another just because is nothing but your past, a mindset that's been conquered. Now when you make a purchase, it's because you actually want to, not based on societal pressures, conformity bias, or lifestyle creep, but because you've worked hard and will enjoy the fruits of your labor, because ultimately there's nothing wrong with buying nice things, but a consideration of the underlying motive behind your purchases and its potential impact on your personal economy. So as Dr. Dre said, anyone can get it, but how? To make more money, you just need to create value, which requires an input. And there are only 3 inputs to create money, which are your time, your money, or a combination of them both. Now earlier in the video I mentioned that generally people will solve some sort of problem for their employer, to which then they'll be rewarded. This is in exchange for your time. To make more money here, you just need to put in more time, which unfortunately is limited, or solve a bigger problem, which requires a form of formal education, a mastery of a certain skill, or thorough experience that translates into uncommon knowledge. However, careers in technology and sales can be obtained without the need for formal degrees, so require less time to get into, while still offering you the opportunity to solve bigger problems, enabling you to be more favorably rewarded. I myself moved away from engineering to a technology-facing role because of this very fact, which has resulted in me being favorably rewarded more due to the value of the bigger problem being solved. And with more income, you can make more money through investing. The lowest barrier to entry for investing is the stock market due to a smaller initial capital to start and also being simple to understand once you get started. The most common options to invest in is being individual company shares and funds. Individual shares tend to be risky due to the reliance on a company's ongoing performance, or by going for innovative companies that have a proof of concept and have showcased their ability to scale, this can lead to considerable gains being made. Funds, on the other hand, are a collection of company shares in one basket, making an investment more diversified, so in essence less risky in comparison to individual shares, but this comes with less potential upside. Alternative to the stock market and also having a low barrier to entry in terms of initial capital required to start is the crypto market. The difference here being that it's largely unregulated and vastly smaller in size amongst other factors, which causes the market to be extremely volatile. Many compare crypto to the dot-com bubble, meaning that most of them are inevitably going to zero, but the ones that do survive will be the future of the technology and should in turn create generational wealth. Find examples of people using each one to create wealth. The key is to understand how much risk you're really willing to take on and what your time horizon is, with funds being the least risky but with the longest time horizon to build wealth, and crypto being the riskiest with the quickest potential time horizon to build wealth. Finally, a combination of both your time and money is where you're able to solve the largest problems, create the most value, and so generate the most amount of money. And this is by using a business. But what problem do you solve with the business? The easiest is talking about the skills you use to increase your income using your time. Your past self being the proof of concept, as once upon a time you were that same person who knew the same help on how to get from the past self to your current self and everything in between. Now you just need to find a way for your advice to have the ability to scale, which is best done through digital means, so YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, any way that utilizes the network effect, which is the nucleus for any personal brand. I've been implementing this on my own channel, which is still a small scale. When I tend to discuss the topic that I identified as the problem, the market tends to act more favorably. Personal brands can also take the shape of your personal interest if it can be packaged in a way that people actually want. A great example of this is shown by Grace Beverly, where her interest in fitness started with creating a successful personal brand using social media and selling fitness programs, which then transitioned into standalone fitness related companies. You may also think you don't want to talk about your career for the foreseeable future, and that's feasible. Examples like Ali Abdul showcase that you can skew away from the problem that you were initially solving as long as you can solve a new problem that the market perceives as valuable. This is the only requirement you need to create any business: buy and improve an existing business or join a leading business. And the answer to the question you're thinking of if what you plan to provide is going to be valuable, you just got to put it out there and let the market decide. If you remember anything from this video, this is all about you and your relationship with money. So you can choose any combination of ways to create money, whether that's one of them or all of the above. Only you truly understand how much you need to never feel like you're on the financial edge, to never feel like it's an endless pursuit, that you won't ever escape the rat race. Hey, if you made this to the point in this video, then thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it, and you are a real one. Stuff like this helps the algorithm know that the video holds some sort of value, and so if you go one step further as well by liking the video, then that'll be really helpful for me, and I definitely do appreciate it, so thanks in advance. If you do like videos like this, then stay tuned for what I have in the future, and of course hit the subscribe button. And yeah, if you did like this video essay type format, then I have a video here on the screen about the state of the US and if it's built to last. So yeah, have a look at that. Yeah, until next time, stay blessed, take care, and hopefully information in this type of video will help your change be televised.